Hello class, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which region you are in the world. In today's lesson, I would like to teach from the modify toolbar located in this region. So in the modify toolbar, we have the move command, the copy command, the stretch command, rotate command, the mirror command, the scale command, trim command, the fillet command, the rectangular array command, the erase command, the explode command, and the offset command. So for the lesson, I would like to draw a circle and a rectangle to help me teach for today. Now straight away, let's get the ball rolling. Go to the move command and click on it. Move. If you select the move command properly, you should see select object showing on your screen. Select object, that's at the command prompt. Select objects. Good. The next thing to do will be to click on the object you want to move. After selecting the object you want to move, you press enter. Now the command prompt asking us to specify base point. The base point is a point you would like to hold to move your object. So I want to hold the center, so I click and drag to move the object to a new location. See, okay, so it works. Try, and I hope it works for you too. Then to our next command. The next command is a copy command. Click on copy, then select the object you want to copy. The same approach. After selecting the object, click enter. Now it's asking you to specify the base point. The base point is the point you want to hold so that you can copy. So I want to hold the center and copy. So I can keep repeating it, dragging to a new location, and pasting. I can paste as many as I want. If you're okay pasting, you can press escape to end the copy command. The next command I would like to talk about is the rotate command. To use the rotate command, I would like to draw something else with a line command. Do something like a triangle. Then I'll rotate it. And let me also put maybe another rectangle sorry, in there. So I want to rotate this subject. Same procedure, click on rotate. Then you click the object. So you can click one by one like this, or you can double click and drag to select everything. Okay, anyone can work for you. Then after selecting the objects, you click enter. Now it says specify base point. Which point will I want to hold to rotate the object? Click the end here. You realize you can rotate the object anyhow you want to. Okay, now if you click, it will end. But I want to tell you something about the command prompt now. This 0 in this bracket is telling me that the software has pre-selected 0 for me. So if I click enter, it means I've accepted to rotate to 0 degree, which will not cause any effect. So therefore I would like to type in 90 degrees, meaning rotate to 90 degrees for me, and press enter. So you see my object has been rotated to 90 degrees. That's good. All right, the next command we'd like to talk about is the mirror command. The mirror command means that you want to just mirror. If you stand in front of your mirror, you see your image. So To do that, you'd have to select objects as well. But before you select objects, kindly escape and go and choose a line. I want us to use a line as our mirror line. So draw a straight line in front of an object you want to mirror. Okay, after drawing a line, you press escape. Then I want to mirror this object. So this is my object. I want an image on the side. So this is my mirror line. Then I go back, I click on my mirror. Then you come and select the objects you want to mirror. So this is my triangle and a rectangle. After selecting objects you want to mirror, you press enter. And from the command prompt, you have to specify the first point on the mirror line. So the first one on the mirror line will be the top of the line here, and the second point on the mirror line will be the bottom of your line there. You can see your object has been mirrored. But that's not the end. The command prompt is asking whether you want to erase the object, as saying this object. If it's a yes, you click yes. If it's a no, you click no. But the software has already selected no for you. So if you press just enter, it means you will not erase the source object. So I'm clicking enter. Good. So I have the object and I have the image there. Thank you. Good. I would like to zoom a little and make the object bigger. The next command I'll talk about is the fillet command. The fillet command. I want to fillet the edges of this rectangle. So I can click on fillet. After clicking on fillet, come click on the radius, because you need a radius, a distance, a radius to draw a fillet. So click on radius. If I had not clicked on radius, it means that the software has selected 0 as my radius, which will end up having no fillet. So I'm typing in 5 as my fillet radius, and I click the lines, this line and that line. You can see that my rectangle has been filleted. Some of you may have issues filleting because your radius you select might be too small, so even though it works, you will not see it unless you zoom the edge you filleted before you can see that really it worked. Others will have another issue of selecting bigger radiuses, and if you select a very big radius on a small object, it will not work. So you have to go back, reduce the radius, and I believe it will work for you. Alright, so before we leave fillets, click on the arrow at the side of the fillet. You see chamfer. Let's talk about chamfer too. So to chamfer, the same procedure. For chamfer, you need a distance. Let's choose distance. So click on the distance. I'd like to enter 5 as my first distance, and then another 5 as my second distance. Then you click the edges you want to chamfer, this edge and that edge. My chamfering has been done nicely. That's good. I believe it works for you too. The next thing we'd like to talk about in the modified toolbar is the stretch command. Stretch command. Good. Click on the stretch command. So for the stretch, it's asking us to select objects too. But listen carefully, for stretch you have to select a minimum of 2 objects at the same time. So look at how I'm doing it. I'm selecting a minimum. I drag and select 2 objects at the same time, and the vectors which you are going to hold to stretch should also be selected. After selecting, I press enter. And then specify the base point. So I click on the vectors and I drag. You can see I can stretch my object. Very simple. Thank you. I hope it works for you too. Then to the next command, that's the scale command. Click on scale, then select the objects you want to scale down or scale up. Good. Scale works just like the enlargement or the reduction in length in GHS or secondary school. If you want to scale to maybe half of the size, twice of the size, just in the scale factor. So after selecting objects, you press enter. Then you select the base point, which point you want to hold to scale up. So this point. So you can see my object can either be increased in size or reduced in size nicely. If you just want to enter a specific scale factor too, you can type it in there. So let's say I want to reduce it to half of the size, so 0.5, enter. So I have scaled down my object. All right, then to the next command, which is, I didn't talk about the trim command. Let's go to the trim command first. Click on the trim command. As the name suggests, trimming. By clicking on any object, you can cut that object off. You can cut parts of your work off. Unnecessary parts of the work can be cut off with the trim command. As you can see, you can also choose to drag, and you can trim a lot of things at the same time. Right, so that's how the trim command, I think, is one of my favorite commands, because it helps me to delete things I do not need from my work. All right, that's how the trim command also works. Okay, good. To the next command, I'd like to talk about, is the erase command. Erase, very simple. You click on it, similar to the trim, but this time it erases everything you want to. So you see, if I zoom in, these small things, I can erase them. You can erase anything. But for erase, after selecting the objects you want to erase, you have to press enter. So erase, you select what you want to erase or what you want to erase. You can also highlight a region and press enter. Very simple. I can erase all these. Enter. That's all. Good. So I only have this left. Now to the rectangular array command. Click on rectangular array. You select the objects you want to use. I would like to use this whole thing. Rectangular array command, select object and press enter. All of a sudden, something like a magic happens on your screen. Wow, the object has been arrayed. So you see we have 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 rows, 1, 2, 3. The distance between them have been stated. You can adjust, you can edit. If I want 7 columns, I can just type in 7. If you want 5 rows, you can type in 5, and it works. 5 rows. You can edit the distance between them. Let's say 50, enter. The distance has been reduced in the column. Same way you can reduce the distance here to, let's say, 50, enter. All right, so very simple. That's the array command, rectangular array command. Good. I would like to click the arrow here and let's try the polar array command. So for polar array, just press escape first. Let's draw something and then use as a polar array. So let me draw something like a triangle, sorry, and then use for my polar array command. So now click on the polar array command and then click the object you want to use and press enter. Then select the base point. That's my base point. Wow, all of a sudden my object is arrayed in a very nice way for me. So you can also edit here. If you want 9 objects, it's possible. If you want to do any editing, you can play with the software and then you can know what it can do. So maybe you want to design a gear. You see the teeth of the gear is repetitive, and you use a polar array command to do that. So that's how you can spread your work in a circular way. Let me just try something else with a polar array command. So you have something like this. and then maybe you have a rectangle on top this way. Good. Let me use a trim command to cut off the side. Good. Then let me use a polar array command to select the objects and press enter. Then you specify the base point. You see, so you can spread things around the circle also for you. So let's say I want 15 of the items. See, the 15 will spread nicely. This is one of my best commands. Wow. Okay. Then to explode command, let's use a polyline command. So just choose a polyline and draw some lines, and let's see how the explode command works. So this polyline, you can see from polyline, if you click just one line, everything selects. Every line will select. But let's use explode command. Click on explode, and then you click on the polyline and press enter. Now go back, click on one of the lines. You notice that not all the lines will be selected anymore. So explode is able to explode the joints, okay, to disconnect the individual members of the polyline for you. Okay, that's very good. In case you have to delete something from there, you cannot delete when they are in a polyline. You have to explode before you can now delete one of the lines from there or erase. Okay. Then to the last command in the modify toolbar, that is offset. Okay, to offset, I would like to use a rectangle command. So draw a rectangle. Good. Then click offset. If you click offset, it says what offset distance. So I want to type in 5. Enter. If you realize the rectangle has been offsetted. Sorry, to have 2 rectangles showing now. That's how just like how the icon all there looks like. Click very simple offset, then you can type in a distance. So this time let me say 15, enter. Then you click the object, you can offset it inside or outside. So I want to offset inside, so you have a rectangle offsetted inwards. So you just drag inside and then it comes inside for you. All right, so this brings me to the end of today's lecture. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.